Hi, Meg.
Hi, Jackie.
Welcome to the Florida Person Podcast for your weird news of this week.
Florida
person.
Florida person. Florida person.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's our first episode.
All right, let's get into it.
All right,
do you want to start? I have a few fun ones that are great, and then I have a candidate for who I'd like to name Animal of the Week here.
Ooh.
Or our hero animal.
Ooh, yes. All right, so I love odd news. I love strange stories. I love them so much. And my favorite source is UPI.com. And I've been going on this website for years. The guy that's the main reporter for here is Ben Hooper. I don't know who he is or what he looks like, but I read his stories all the time. Support news.
Ben
news
Hooper sounds like a Parks and Rec character.
Doesn't he?
Yeah.
I think he does.
Like, I'm Ben Hooper, and I've got the scoop.
Exactly. Odd news. This is a story from June 10th. And I really like the way that Ben Hooper reports on the story because he doesn't do, stupid things like the New York Post will really just make it sound flashier. This guy just reports on the story, and that's what I like. And this took place in Florida because you and I were both from Florida.
Yeah.
You live in Los Angeles. I'm back in Florida. And this is Bradenton, Florida.
Oh, I love Bradenton.
Yeah.
See, I feel like
it's
where I'm gonna do this a lot, but I'm like, oh yeah, I had a cousin who lived near Bradenton. My family lived and still lives in Florida and has lived all around Florida, in North Florida, Central Florida, South, in the Florida Islands and the Keys, all over the place. So,
oh yeah,
I think I'm well-versed.
My parents are just, my mom was born in Miami and my dad came down from New York City when he was 5 because he had asthma. And back then they were like, take your children to Florida if they have asthma and hay fever. And I've just been in South Florida and then just for school and Tallahassee where it was too cold. And then Gainesville where I met you at UF.
Yes. All right. So the story from Ben Hooper.
So the story from Ben Hooper is giant dog, in quotations, wanders into Dollar General store in Florida by Ben Hooper.
Oh my God, I feel like that's subjective though, giant dog, because a dog can be giant to some people, but normal size to others.
Oh, this is a giant dog.
Oh, okay.
There's no
dispute.
No, it's absolutely enormous.
Okay, got it.
June 10th. Police in Florida were summoned to a store when a giant dog wandered into the business, browsed for a few hours, and refused to leave at closing time. The Bradenton Police Department said the giant dog, a 135-pound canine, wandered into the Dollar General store in Bradenton, and employees initially decided to let the animal go about his business, as he wasn't disturbing any merchandise or other customers. This dog is like a giant, Mastiff, giant Beethoven-looking, the dog, I think it's a Mastiff style breed. It's enormous.
Yeah.
If I went and there was just a dog wandering around.
It's a real unit of a dog. That dog's a unit. I was imagining one of those, I think they're Irish something, or they're the ones that are always in graveyards. When a grave digger has a big skinny dog in cartoons.
Is it a ghost dog?
Let's go with that. Yeah. That's what I was imagining, was one of those big, skinny, creepy dogs.
God. And this is, all right, now it's, the The employees called police at closing time because the dog had been inside the store for several hours and was showing no signs of leaving.
So the dog's loitering?
The dog's loitering. He shows no signs of leaving. Like, how would he show signs of leaving?
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of personality in this dog already. Like, he seemed to be minding his own business, and we decided to let him go about his own business. But then he's
browsing.
Yeah,
he's browsing the store.
But then he really overstayed his welcome at the Dollar General.
Police shared body camera footage on Facebook showing police escorting the dog out of the store. Well, it's really nice that they didn't have any problems with their body cams at that moment.
Yeah, that's
and
when
the
they
wholesome
work.
moments and the wholesome moments, the police body cams.
Did they release the footage? Release the footage
Yes.
from this.
They did.
Okay.
They actually do. It's attached to this article, which we'll have to link in our notes,
Yes.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess we'll have to. The department said police were able to identify the dog as a canine named Bentley and reunited the pet with his owner. Bentley's dad realized he was missing and was grateful that the store and officers looked after him. Maybe he would have been reunited sooner had they called animal control or something, because Bentley's dad wouldn't necessarily call the police.
Well, sometimes
if his dog is missing.
Sometimes some cities don't have an animal control unit. They just have like a small police force. But I feel like Bradenton is big enough to have, and also I feel like Florida, among most states, is like actually like puts money into animal control because there's like a lot of animals that you got to deal with. So
yeah.
So maybe
Bentley's dad.
Oh God.
So Bentley's Bentley's dad's gonna call the police.
Yeah. Like my Bentley's missing. Like, sir, your dog? He went browsing and he never came back.
He just went down to the store to browse. Browsing in Bentley. And then there's also, what is it? The New York Post was more salacious. But I do think that they had pictures in it.
Still about the same dog?
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that it's like, it wasn't just like a small story. It was reported on by a few sources that this is what's going on today in Bradenton. There's a dog. I always think when like a domestic animal like does something real like human-esque, that maybe you know how there is a lot of movies in the 90s about people getting turned into animals and like a cat or a dog, and then they gotta like do something to get turned back into, because it's like,
oh my God,
Dad's never around, he's not.
Oh yeah, Dad's a busy guy. Dad's such a busy guy.
He's not paying attention to
his
family.
He's the busiest business. What happens if he gets turned into a cat?
Yeah.
And that's the premise of the movie 9 Lives. That was that Kevin Spacey movie.
Ooh.
That me and my boyfriend saw in the theater.
I'm glad you saw that in theaters.
We did.
Yeah.
We saw it in the theater. And I did like have to question my life and be like, what if I were turned into a cat? And
I always think of
what would happen? I better tell him I love him.
I always think of
that
series.
Was what made me
that series. It was on like Nickelodeon back in the day, and it was 100 Good Deeds for Eddie McDowell, and he's just like, he's a bully. He's just a bully who's like, hey, he's just doing bully stuff, always beating on this one kid, right? And then one day he takes it too far, and I don't remember who turned him in. It was probably like a wise old man or something.
Yeah.
Like turned him into a dog, and he's like, you don't get to be a kid again until you do 100 good deeds. And then he gets adopted by the kid he's always bullying, What? And it's like always...
How many...
It's also like his parents just never miss him. Like, it's never talked about that he just goes missing.
Well, of course he's going to express himself in those ways. Of course he is. Mm-hmm. He's a boy, and boys can't express sadness, so it goes into anger, and he becomes a bully. Oh, how do you do 100 different deeds that are good as a dog?
Well, it was stuff like, like a baby carriage, like rolling down a hill, like, saving somebody like in a pond from like drowning. He also like did a lot of stuff like, like going into the bathroom when the older sister's taking a shower, because because that was okay back in the day.
I know, yeah, like that back then. It was like Peeping Tom stuff would be such a funny joke, and now it's like, no, that's early predatory behavior. It escalates.
Yeah,
it escalates.
Bad stuff. All right.
Not funny.
Okay, so hopefully Bentley got what he needed from his like little trip there.
He did.
I hope he got what he needed. So my story here, I pulled this one. This is from June 19th, and I found it. It's coming out of the AP, but it was reported. I actually first heard about it on NPR, like just on like a news update. This was kind of all over the place, and it was like on the local news, and it was everywhere. So it's coming out of a lot of different places. This was a big one. But the headline from the AP is Omaha, Nebraska. Takes place in Omaha, Nebraska.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which is a cool town. I had a really good burrito there once.
I've never been.
That's all I got. So the headline is 6,000 bees removed from inside wall of Omaha couple's home.
What?
All right. So about 6,000 bees were recently removed from inside the walls of an Omaha couple's 100-year-old home.
Oh my gosh.
Thomas and Mary Lou Gautier, I think it's Gautier.
Mary Lou.
Clearly French. Told the Omaha World Herald that they have been planting bee-friendly flowers outside their midtown home, but they never expected the bees to move in.
Oh, they're being replaced by bees.
The bees likely infiltrated a hole in the mortar of its brick exterior.
Infiltration.
And the couple discovered them after noticing many bees flying outside their kitchen window and found about 30 in a second-floor bedroom.
Oh my gosh. That's like in Amityville Horror when the priest goes in to bless the home, and then there's bees that just start flying around. I would be like, this is, I'm in a ghost story. The walls are going to start bleeding.
Yeah, there is something creepy about having like too many bees showing up, right?
Oh, wow.
Like just as like an omen.
Yeah.
Not really
it
like,
is.
Like there's a body there, like a bunch of flies or something, but just like it's a bad omen, I feel like, to have too many bees showing up where they're not supposed to be.
They're not
supposed to be there. All right.
It's going to make honey in the walls.
I like this quote from the guy who owns the house, Thomas Gautier. He said, "If you put your ears to the wall, you could hear the buzzing."
That's
so the couple were responsible about it. They didn't exterminate the bees. They contacted the members of the Omaha Bee Club, and they were charged $600 by the Bee Club. I feel like they should have done it for free.
I feel like if you're in a club, your dues should cover.
Yeah, isn't that like your dream to find like the bee house? It's a bee house.
Yeah, exactly. They could have kept the bees there. It could have been like a very natural white noise machine with the buzzing.
So the Omaha Bee Club showed up. They said, "Give me $600 and we'll get these bees out of here safely. Safe for you, safe for the bees." And
so I guess it's $100 for every 1,000 bees.
Yeah. So they cut a hole in the side of the home, and then they vacuum the bees into a box and move them. That's how you do this humanely, is you vacuum them up, you suction them away from the people, and they removed 3 honeycombs about 2 inches in thick and roughly 9 inches in diameter inside the walls. And now it says that the couple tasted some of the honey before they took away the bees in their honey, but it does not let you know how they think it tastes. It doesn't.
Ooh, they don't want to offend. They don't want to offend anybody. They don't want to anger.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know why they put
fans.
in the article that they made sure to taste the honey, but they won't give us a review.
We refuse.
Yeah.
How dare you? Give us our privacy.
So if anybody
let us keep
knows,
one thing.
If anybody knows, let us know, because I do love honey, but I also I like those honey packets that you get at like a hotel, like in like the tea area where you're like making like a tea in the morning in the breakfast area. Somehow the honey that's like separate into little packets, so you don't have to like get like a spoon dirty, and you can just like, you know, suck it right up. That's the best honey, in my opinion.
I think the last honey I got was in a jar that was expensive, and it was hard to mix into things.
Yeah. That's why you got to steal it from hotels. It's in its most convenient form, and it's essentially free. So
maybe Mary Lou and her husband never had honey, so they're like, don't want to admit that they have nothing to compare it to.
That could be it.
We don't know.
I don't know. We'll never know, because it just cuts off right there. It just says the bees got out. They got out. They're good. They were removed. No one knows where they went. They went with the bee club, and so, you know, that's all you get. Well, if there's an update, I'd love to know how they're thriving.
I love it. Yeah, let us know. I wonder if you need a special vacuum for bees.
Oh yeah, I don't think you can use like a shop vac. I think like that's like damaging, but like I've seen them do it. I've seen it like if you go on like you can find it on like YouTube, because like all these people are now like keeping bees, which is great, like doing like the whole bee boxes in their yard, and then you get like the honey and the honeycomb and all that stuff, and you're also helping the wild bee population, which needs help. So people are doing that, but you definitely you vacuum them up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So but it's like a bee vacuum. There's like bee equipment that you have to be able to do a whole bee like
seems like
thing.
Expensive to be a part of being into the bee clubs.
Well, if you have bees, you probably have to have like a yard for the bees. So you're already in the you know, that level of people who have a home and a yard. So we're not talking like, you know,
that's the dream, isn't it? A home, a yard, and
a yard full
6,000
of
bees.
I wish for a home with a yard, and in that yard, just it's full of bees. Is that like a Cat Stevens song? Yeah,
that's should be. I really like the escaped animals. People freak out about it. And sometimes they do things. Well, this is from June 28th, 2022. This year. Another story from UPI by Ben Hooper.
Oh, Ben Hooper. He's got the scoop.
Ben Hoop. The Hoop.
The Hoop's got the scoop.
And this is escaped emu returns home, breaks into horse corral. And there is, there's a great, they did a missing poster, like ad, on Instagram, and it's the emu sitting in its pen, and it says in bright yellow, "Missing emu, West Milford, New Jersey. Do not chase. Do not approach."
Yeah.
With the contact information.
Well, have you ever, so there's up in Santa Barbara, so a while ago for like my birthday, like last year, or the year before, and there's a big ostrich and emu farm, and it's really neat because you get to feed them, but they are so aggressive, and the emu, they look like hellbirds. They look like hellbirds.
I think they tried to pick a photo for the missing emu photo where it's trying to show it be gentle, and it's just sitting on the ground, but it's
they have bright red eyes, and they look like they want you dead. They want you and your family. They are terrifying. Like oh boy, yeah.
And I never think of emus being in New Jersey, but I guess they're everywhere.
I guess you can have like a farm because, like, you know, you get like eggs from them, and I guess it's just like the equivalent of like, I don't know, like 40 chicken eggs or something ridiculous.
This is an emu that escaped in New Jersey was recaptured nearly a week later when he returned to his owner's property and broke into a horse paddock. What's a horse? Is that a stable? A paddock?
Well, the paddock is just like the like it's like a yard that's like fenced in where you keep like horses. So it's like the horse yard.
Because you know about horses because you were riding.
Yeah,
horses.
I was a horse girl. So I know a lot about horses. No, like the stable would be like, you know, like the barn kind of thing. It's a barn for horses as a stable. But like a paddock would just be like a fenced in, you know, area for you to let the horse out.
All right. Well, he broke into it. Sandy Roberto Cordasco said she does not know how Vance the emu escaped from his pen.
His name is Vance. That's such like a beta name for a hellbird.
Vance.
Or is it like a Chad name? It might be more of like a that's like
Vance.
That emu is a Chad.
Yeah, I think so. Vance. Vance the emu from New Jersey. Vance escaped from his pen on her West Milford property on June 20th, nor does she know how the flightless bird managed to break into a horse paddock on her property on Sunday. He really is like Houdini, Cordasco told NorthJersey.com. This guy is really living, doing his best emu thing. Cordasco said she received a message from a neighbor that Vance had been spotted near her 13-acre property on Sunday, and she and friend Brandy Weaver arrived to find the emu had broken into his horse corral. Cordasco said she covered Vance's head.
Yeah.
She covered Vance's head while Weaver tackled the bird to the ground and tied his legs. The emu was then returned to his pen and reunited with his emu brother, Fridge.
Wait, why is his brother named Fridge, but he's Vance? It should be like Vance and Tyler, not
I know,
Fridge.
Not Fridge. It certainly takes a village, she said, and I can't thank my awesome friends, the fabulous West Milford residents, for keeping a lookout and constantly updating me with sightings.
Wow.
Give a really nice shout out to the community at the end there.
Honestly, I feel like emus are kind of like a swan. Like, if you've never, like, they have the aggressiveness of like a swan or a goose. Ooh. It's like that kind of big, scary bird that's like gonna fuck you up kind of a thing.
Yeah, they look like dinosaurs.
So if I opened my door and an emu is standing right there, I would just close my door. I'm just not leaving today. I can't leave because the emu is there. No, they're terrifying. I don't think I'm like afraid of birds, but if I was afraid of birds, it would probably be like emu, swan, goose.
I would definitely be afraid. I don't want to. Sandhill cranes are scary to look at.
I mean, I've had like my ass beat by a swan before. Like, I've had like a swan like beat me up. Like, just like beat the shit out of me. Like, when I was like, I had to be like 8 years old. And like, they had like swans in like one of the ponds at like Epcot. And I was with my family at Epcot for Food and Wine Festival.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, like, they have these little, like, areas of, like, grass, and then there's, like, kind of, like, a pond, and they have, like, you know, flowers and stuff around. It's very nice, but they used to have swans, and we have pictures of me just, like, walking up to a swan, and the swan checking me out, and then the swan just beating my ass. And my parents just snapped photos.
They're so aggressive. I've seen, I was watching a compilation of swan attacks the other day, and they are just They really go after people. They really, really, really go after people.
I mean, I had just watched, like, The Swan Princess. You remember that janky, like, animated movie? It was like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It was, real janky.
I remember being, like, a child and being like, oh, that's not up to my standards.
It wasn't, but I did love it. And so I was unaware that swans were that aggressive, and I got too close to one, and it just beat the shit out of me. Like, it drew blood. And every once in a while, I get too close to a goose, because those stupid Canada goose are, like, everywhere. Every once in a while, they're just everywhere. And then
in Los Angeles?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what they're doing here, but, like, they're, like, every once in a while.
Trying to make their dreams come true.
Every once in a while, there's just, like, a flock of geese, and you're, like, trying to get into your car or something, and you're just, and it's just like, you know? Oh,
they're so rude. They have terrifying teeth.
Yeah. They're gross. They're gross birds. I don't, you know, some birds aren't worth it. Some birds aren't worth your life.
So yeah, sorry if you like geese out there, but listen, I think they're jerks.
Yeah. If you're a goose person, I don't know, show me a good goose, because I don't know any. I don't know any of these good goose. I mean, we know of these emus, Vance and Fridge.
Vance and Fridge. Why does one have a proper name and then Fridge?
Okay, so this next story, this is one from the vault. It's not that long ago, but it like, you know, 2019 was a totally different world, right? So yes. a lot gone on since 2019, but this happened, this story is dated Monday, April 8th, 2019. It comes from NBC2 News out of Naples, Florida. Now, the headline for this is, drunk, shirtless Florida man arrested after shoveling spaghetti in his mouth at Olive Garden.
What? What? That's a crime?
Yeah.
I guess being shirtless.
I guess drunk and shirtless is the crime, because shoveling spaghetti, I feel like that's just a slam that NBC2 just decided to throw in there. Because it could have just been drunk, shirtless man arrested at Olive Garden, but they're like, and he's shoveling it. He's shoveling spaghetti.
That sounds pretty anti-spaghetti.
Yeah, he's just shoveling it into his mouth. Also, if you're ordering the spaghetti at Olive Garden, you're doing it wrong. Olive Garden, like, you get the pasta bowls, right? You get the pasta bowls, you get several different types. Oh, yes. And you do the breadsticks or, like, the soup thing. And that's how you do Olive Garden. So already, he should have been arrested for that.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so Naples, Florida. A drunken, shirtless Naples man was arrested at Olive Garden Sunday after shoveling spaghetti into his mouth. The police were called at Olive Garden at 1565 5th South Street because 32-year-old Ben Paget was causing a disturbance, according to a police report.
Ben Paget.
Paget. Yeah, Ben Paget. He's the man with the spaghetti. Police found Paget sitting on a bench near the front door, shirtless and shoveling spaghetti into his mouth. They keep using that term.
They keep saying shoveling, like get a thesaurus.
Yeah, shoveling spaghetti into his mouth with his hands. Okay, that is shoveling, though. I thought they were just being rude, but if he's doing handfuls. Okay. A strong smell of alcohol came from him as well. According to the police report, Paget was asking people for money as they walked up to the door. He then threatened a restaurant employee who asked him to stop, saying, "I could beat your ass."
Well,
when the employee went back inside to call the police, Paget followed him in and asked the employee loudly what kind of genitals he has.
Oh.
I feel like he said it a different way.
Yeah, I feel like,
so it seems that he tried to resist arrest, because of course you are. But, so this is what they didn't say, right? And I want to make a point before I finish with. How did he get a hold of that much spaghetti? Because they said he was outside, like, on the porch of the Olive Garden, like, right outside.
Yeah.
Because you know how they have, like a mud room almost, like, where you wait for, like, a table to be ready?
Yes, yeah.
I imagine he was there, because he's not at a table. Where'd he get all this spaghetti?
Where did he get this? Did he get it to go and then he
went nuts?
And he went crazy? I'm stuck on what kind of what was he saying about the what kind of genitals?
I don't know. I guess he just went, what kind of genitals you got? I imagine, like, he said it real politely like that. Like, hey, sir, what kind of genitals you have?
Like, exactly. That seems like that was edited.
I think it was edited.
But I don't even know what that would be.
I imagine it's something like, you got a small dick kind of a thing, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I think. So now he resisted arrest, and when the police put him in the back of the police car, he started smashing his forehead into the metal cage of the car's petition.
Oh, boy.
He was charged with disorderly intoxication and resisting an officer without violence. And he was later transported to Naples Jail Center, and that's where this story comes to an end.
Oh,
so hopefully he slept it off. Hopefully all those carbs.
Hopefully.
That's what you gotta do when you get too drunk. You gotta get some carbs in your system.
Shovel it in if you can.
Yeah. Yeah. But I bet he had a bad headache if he's gonna slam his head into the petition.
Oh.
So that's basically it. Basically, he was charged with disorderly intoxication and resisting an officer without violence. And, so Ben, I hope you're doing all right these days.
We hope you're doing better. We hope you have a better time at the Olive Garden.
Yeah, I'm almost 32 years old too, and I feel like, you know, I could definitely have a break like this. Like, I've had a lot of moments in the last couple years that I could definitely see myself, you know, being disorderly outside of a chain restaurant, shoveling some, you know,
Certainly.
A large amount of food into my mouth. But it would probably,
anybody could get to that point if pushed.
Yeah.
It's stress. It's a whole lot of things.
I don't know if it'd be spaghetti, because I like spaghetti, but I don't love it. You know, I don't love it.
It's hard to manage when you're drunk to eat.
It's just
noodles.
A lot. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, pad thai, though, I could probably do that.
Pad
just because it's also noodles, I realize, but it is, I like pad thai a lot more than spaghetti.
Oh my gosh, I'm like obsessed with Singapore noodles.
Ooh.
I am so obsessed with Singapore noodles. It's all I want to eat.
Is that a chain? What is that?
No, it's a dish that is, it's like the very, very thin little vermicelli rice noodles and curry, like yellow curry with vegetables, and I get it with shrimp and chicken. Ooh. And it's so good.
Did you know that that pad thai is not actually like, it wasn't like a dish that like is like from years and years being in Thailand, like it's not one of those, but it was created by a chef in Thailand as like to be the national dish of Thailand. Because Thailand is the only country in Southeast Asia that was never colonized.
Oh.
It's always been its own thing.
I don't know a lot about Thailand, but I really liked The King and I when I was a child.
Wow,
I would just...
I specifically learned that pad thai fact. So, pad thai fact.
Well, I can't dispute any of that.
Got it.
That sounds interesting.
All right. You have another one?
I do. I love snake news. Snake news is like my favorite type of odd news story. And I found one. It's from a day ago, and it's from onegreenplanet.org. And it says, German police seize over 110 dangerous snakes after owner was bitten by one. By Haley Kanowski.
So this is in Germany?
Yes.
Oh man, you never get snake news from Germany.
No.
Wild.
It says, police seized over 100 dangerous snakes from a woman's house after she was injured and needed medical attention from a rattlesnake bite. The 35-year-old woman in Germany was injured after one of her snakes struck and bit her. The woman reportedly drove to a local hospital for treatment after her finger was bitten. Her condition continued to get worse, and doctors were concerned about her chance of survival. She was then transferred to a larger hospital in a nearby city, Hanover, where a counter serum was delivered from the Tropical Institute in Hamburg. That sounds... What is the Tropical Institute?
Ooh, I don't know. It sounds nice, but if it's just full of, like, venom, I don't know.
It says rattlesnakes are venomous vipers, and they get their name from a unique rattle at the end of their tail that makes a noise when it shakes. A bite from one of these snakes can be fatal, but death is uncommon since many places have anti-venom widely available. According to police, the woman keeps 70 to 80 snakes in her apartment.
No, don't. Don't do that.
Police say they found more than 110 snakes in the rest of the yard.
What?
They found constrictors, poisonous snakes, and many more, which were not in proper living conditions. The animals were confiscated, and the local environmental authorities and veterinary offices are helping out with the snakes and getting them into proper care. Police will investigate the regulations and the owner that the owner has broken for housing these 110 snakes. Snakes should never be kept as pets. If you want an animal, adopt one in need, and only if you can properly care for them. !
Who said that?
The person that wrote the article.
Oh, what? I mean, look,
this is not official news story.
That's
this
an
one kind of
opinion,
sneaked
man.
by.
That's
This
like
is
your
very-
opinion, man.
Yeah.
All right? Because, like,
Yeah.
do I personally want a snake? No, I don't want to have a snake in my own home, but I can see where they could be a fulfilling and good pet for some people. You know, I'm not going to hate on somebody
think so,
having a
too.
snake. I think you
I
could
think
probably, that could be great. As long as you have the right, you know, like snake enclosure and the food and you're taking care of your snake, I think it's okay to have a snake. I don't think it's okay to have like 110 snakes like this woman. That's too many snakes.
I was surprised that it was interesting. I didn't know what to expect, who it was going to be, this person in Germany, but it's pretty interesting that it was this 35-year-old woman with all these snakes.
Well, every once in a while you'll watch like a Hoarders episode, and the worst Hoarders ones are when they're like animal hoarders, but it's almost like 99.9% of the time they're hoarding cats. You know, it's always cats. It's always cats.
So sad.
And
it's so
very
easy
sad.
to get. So easy to make more cats. They have babies.
They multiply, yeah.
Every 65 days or something.
Yeah, you can get a lot of cats from just a couple cats. You can multiply your cats pretty easily if you're not responsible with your cats. But I'm just saying, like, you don't want a snake hoard. You don't want to be a snake hoarder.
No.
That's too many snakes.
I saw this an episode of this reality show that was on Hulu that took place in Florida, and it was people cleaning a house. It seemed like it was hoarders, but without dealing with the psychological problems of the person. They just took that person away.
Yeah.
They just took the person.
You don't get to know the hoarder.
No. But there was a flat rat that I saw.
Oh, no.
I've seen flat cats, but I've never seen a flat rat.
See, I always used to hate when we used to live in Boca Raton. We used to get those little brown anoles and green anoles in the house all the time, and I guess sometimes they would get under the carpets, and I remember moving the furniture before, and you lift up a carpet and there's just all these smushed lizards, and it would be the worst. I hated that part so much, and I still think of that. There are literally there are no little lizards here in, like, my apartment now, but every time I, like, lift up my carpet to, like, you know, do, like, a deep clean or something, I'm like, oh, please no lizards. Please don't have any flat lizards.
Oh, my gosh. I haven't thought about that in years. I haven't thought about that in so long.
Or you'd get like a mummified lizard, like in between like a screen and like a window every once in a while. You'd just be like, oh,
like dried out skull.
Yeah.
The freaking skull of the lizard.
Yeah. Oh,
I used to catch lizards like when I was like 7, 8 years old. I don't know. I spent a summer just catching lizards and putting them in a Gatorade bottle.
Yeah.
And that
didn't work out.
It didn't work out well for them.
I used to find the lizard eggs. Yeah, I used to find the lizard eggs and I would send them to my pen pal in New Jersey. So that's also a terrible thing to do.
I would put them in the giant Gatorade bottle, and then at the end of the day, I would release them, and some of them would make it, and then some of them, I was like,
I could have possibly single-handedly like created a invasive species problem in another state. I don't know. I hope they got confiscated. I don't remember if they were ever received or not. I hope like because I just put them in like an envelope. Yeah, I hope the mailman was just like, no, we're not doing this.
Fragile.
Yeah.
I don't know how tough little lizard eggs are.
Oh, I don't think they're that tough. I don't think they're that
Go
tough.
through entire mail.
No, I think it's probably a bad thing for everybody. But, I hope they're doing all right. I swear, I don't do this to lizards anymore. In fact, I love lizards. I'm probably the most likely to hoard, like, lizards, but humanely. I would have a house with, like, 110 lizards, all in appropriate containers, all living their best life. So that's just I had to end that on like a positive note.
On a positive note. Yes.
Okay, so I got one more here, and this one, it's a celebration of life, of birth, of renewal.
I'm excited.
Yes. So the San Diego Zoo is just welcomed. Well, they just announced it like a week ago, but I guess she was born on May 10th, but they didn't tell anybody. Maybe they were just trying to make sure that it was like all like,
okay,
all super bueno and like everybody's good. Okay, but the San Diego Zoo welcomed its first baby aardvark in almost 40 years.
Oh my gosh, I love aardvarks.
Yes, so this is coming from the San Diego Zoo. This is the East Bay Times, and it's the San Diego Zoo.
I was thinking of an anteater. I'm fine
they're
with aardvarks.
Yeah, but they're very similar.
They're fine.
Yeah, they're kind of similar. I mean,
they're kind of similar.
They're slightly.
Oh,
it is cute.
They're
pretty cute.
Yeah, they are actually. They're really cute. I don't think I've ever seen one.
And this baby is so cute.
It's really cute.
The baby. So it's a female cub. They haven't given her a name yet. And since this is from like a week ago, I tried really hard to see if they had given her a name by now, but I couldn't find anything. I couldn't even find it on like the San Diego Zoo website. So for now, it's just a beautiful baby girl aardvark. She was born on May 10th, and her parents are Zola is the mother, and the father. Let me see. This article doesn't say the father. Where's the father's name?
Where's the father's name?
My God, you can't just leave him out. The father's name is Azan.
Ooh,
Azan. So Zola and Azan.
Names.
Yeah, so here's the thing. I was searching. So this is a very important aardvark, first of all, because I guess they don't get born into captivity all that much.
Oh.
And not in the United States, especially. So this is like the first one in almost 40 years at this zoo, which they've been trying to breed these aardvarks, it seems. They've been trying to get Zola and Azan to like get busy, but this is the first time they managed. It's only going to be about 6 months before she's mature enough to move on from her mother.
Oh.
And while I was searching for her name to see if anything's changed, and she got his name. And this was the weird part. They keep calling her Princess Dirt Pig.
What?
But there's no... that's not her name. She's not officially Princess Dirt Pig, but it seems like in an interview, like a zookeeper or something like called her like Princess Dirt Pig, and now it's like sticking.
Oh, gosh.
So...
give her a proper name. Well, give her a proper name. It's not going to end up like Fridge. That's worse than Fridge.
That's worse than Fridge. I mean, it's like Azan, Zola, Princess Dirt Pig.
Please. Oh.
And I find it is a little rude. It's a little rude.
It's rude. Give her a proper name.
But I love her. I would put my life on the line for Princess Dirt Pig because she is a really cute little baby. And I'd like to go visit her. I'd like to go visit her, but it's like way too hot to go to San Diego right now. It's like 100 degrees in San Diego.
Oh, boy. Oh, San Diego. I went to the San Diego Zoo once.
Yeah, it's very nice. Cool zoo. It's a great zoo. Like, no wonder they have the first aardvark birth in a while. And an aardvark aardvark baby is called a cub.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, God. They're very, very, very cute.
Yeah, but they said she's growing really well. She's like doubled in size, and she seems to be very healthy, and it's really great. It's a good one. She's digging a lot. I guess that's a thing that if you didn't know, aardvarks dig. I guess that's why they're dirt pigs, is what they're saying.
I know, dirt pig. Jeez.
It said that she was very active and was using her sharp claws to dig like an adult aardvark just hours after her birth.
Ooh, look at her. Get to work. Dig that dirt.
Oh, and it says the mother Zola is an excellent mother and nurses her cub frequently. So cute. She's 13 pounds now since the last weigh-in. Oh, okay. So this might be where it comes from. It seems that the name aardvark is derived from Afrikaans, like the language in South Africa, Afrikaans.
Oh, okay.
And it literally translates to mean earth pig.
Oh.
So, all right. But still,
Earth pig, but they're calling her dirt pig.
Yeah, they're calling her Dirt Pig.
Dirt Pig.
And, yeah, Princess Dirt Pig, which is just...
Princess. That's condescending.
It's a little
condescending.
condescending.
Together.
Yeah. Well, and so if you want to go see Princess Dirt Pig, which is not her name, they do a wildlife presentation at the Africa Rock stage at the San Diego Zoo. So if you want to see that baby beautiful cub... aardvark cub, that's where you can see her. And so she's my animal of the week.
Animal of the week, everybody. I don't have an animal of the week.
That's all right. I covered it.
You covered it. It's our animal of the week. This is a story. This next story is it's from 1979.
Ooh, a real vault one.
Yes. Have you ever heard of the story of Jimmy Carter and the killer rabbit?
No.
Okay. The headline was, Carter fights killer rabbit with paddle on fishing trip.
Oh my God.
And, okay, so this is an explanation of
this is obviously
the article.
This is like President Jimmy Carter.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, this is the explanation of the story. So this is like a little history lesson. During the first year of his presidency, on April 20th, 1979, President Jimmy Carter had gone fishing by himself, with Secret Service and press in tow, in his hometown of Plains, Georgia. According to Carter, a rabbit being chased by hounds jumped in the water and swam toward my boat. When he got almost there, I splashed some water with the paddle. Carter told his staff about this, but they didn't believe his story, insisting that rabbits couldn't swim or that they would never approach a person threateningly. However, the incident was captured on footage taken by a White House photographer. Press Secretary Jody Powell mentioned the event to Associated Press correspondent Brooks Jackson on August 28th, 1979, and Jackson filed the story with the wire service the following day. The story, President Attacked by Rabbit, was carried across the front page of the Washington Post, though the White House's refusal to release the photograph resulted in the newspaper using a cartoon parody of the Jaws poster labeled Pause as its illustration. The White House still refused to release the photograph of the incident to the media until it turned up during the Reagan administration.
Of course it did.
The story saw a revival.
Yeah. That was
the
a
press
plant. That was a plant.
And it's like a very threatening looking white rabbit in the water.
I think Reagan planted this rabbit.
It says in Press Secretary Powell's 1986 book, The Other Side of the Story, he told the story as follows. Upon closer inspection, the animal turned out to be a rabbit. Not one of your cutesy Easter Bunny type rabbits, but one of those big splay-footed things that we call swamp rabbits when I was growing up.
What?
The animal was clearly in distress, perhaps berserk. The president confessed to having had limited experience with enraged rabbits. He was unable to reach a definite conclusion about its state of mind. What was obvious, however, was that this large, wet animal was making strange hissing noises and gnashing its teeth, was intent upon climbing into the presidential boat. And then they were just using that as, the political opponents were using it as a metaphor for what the intent to portray him and his presidency as hapless and feeble.
Wow.
But this picture of this rabbit is very scary. It looks like a white rabbit with red eyes.
Ooh.
That was coming towards the president's boat.
I wonder if it had, like, rabies.
It probably did.
You know? And this was actually, like, a way bigger deal. Man, Jimmy Carter has had a very interesting life.
He has.
A very interesting life. I'm gonna put the conspiracy theory out there that this was planted by the Reagan administration to discredit Jimmy Carter.
That bunny was thrown into the water.
Yeah.
Enraged.
Yeah. That's what I think. That's, it might not be true, but I'm gonna put it out there and, I hope it gains traction. I like that. Yeah. Wow. Well, there was a bunch of fun stories today. Lots of interesting stuff. We talked about a woman who has way too many snakes in Germany, which, knowing, a lot of my family's from Germany, and all of them seems like they would have a hard time with snakes. So
I didn't know snakes could even be in the yard, in a German yard. They
yeah,
said.
What do they mean? Like she has an apartment and her yard was also filled with snakes? Is that like one of those maybe like it's like one of those duplex kind of things where you get like a little yard?
I have no idea what the weather is like in Germany. I have no idea.
It's cold. It gets cold. I mean, I don't like that she had a lot of venomous snakes because that's, have your snakes. Have your snakes if you want some snakes, have them. But, like, when it gets into dangerous animals, where if it gets out, it's like, uh-oh,
Yeah.
That's where you gotta draw the line. I guess I don't think you should have venomous snakes. But if you want a regular snake, get a regular snake. I hear garter snakes are, like, pretty okay. Pretty okay. I get a garter snake, lady. All right, and then Princess Dirt Pig made an appearance. Animal of the Week. And
Bentley. Don't forget Bentley, the doggy.
I'll never forget
all.
Bentley. I'll never forget Bentley and his trip to the dollar store and Vance and Fridge, the emus, and the drunk, shirtless Ben shoveling spaghetti outside of the Olive Garden. So a real cast of characters this week.
Real cast of characters.
Next time you want to hear some weird news, you can tune in to Florida person.
Florida person. Happy first episode.
Yeah. Don't keep all your snakes. Don't hoard snakes.
No, and if you see a dog in a store, please just call the police immediately.
Or leave it alone. It has browsing to do.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Florida person. Florida person. Florida person.